ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and welcome yourself to Cryogen's tutorial series. This is just going to be a single tutorial. It's going to teach you guys how to move a player from anywhere on the screen using nothing but the old mouse left-hand click button. So ideally it's going to be like modern-day action MMOs or RPGs such as Diablo and Path of Exile, where you click someplace on the screen and your player character is going to go ahead and move to that location and then stop when he reaches that location. Not a lot of tutorials that clearly cover this on YouTube or even on the internet that I found, so here we go. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to assume some prior game maker knowledge, nothing too big, pretty much just sprite and object generation. So real fast, we're going to go ahead and create some sprites. Let's start with a player sprite. So SBR player, and just for simplicity's sake, we're going to go ahead and make it ourselves. Create a new one. 32 by 32 is just fine. There we go. Yeah, so let's, I don't know, freaking do this thing. Oh, you probably zoom in like crazy. I hate this shit. Alright, this is the, you know what? Hell no, get out of here. Leave me alone. Feel free to make your own player. I'm not gonna bother with it because I make all mine in Paint, and then I just do this crap, and I just load Sprite and just take it from the file there. And it's taking a little time because of the recording software. Alright, so I don't know why I'm doing this. It's just polish. I'm just going to rotate him 180 degrees so he faces down. I don't know why that bothers me, but whatever. Center it. Create another sprite. I'm mumbling to myself. I'm sorry, guys. Let me explain better what I'm doing. Now we're going to create what is, this is actually going to be a mouse click sprite. This is going to be kind of a blank sprite. So we'll just call it sprite mouse click. And this one we're actually going to edit ourselves. This is going to be important that we make it the correct size, because what's going to happen is your player is going to stop at this spot, so you don't want it to be too big. If it's a huge dimension, he's going to stop nowhere near the point. So I think 32 by 32 is going to be fine. Alright, give it a second here. Okay, and now we're just going to fill it with some color so that we can recognize it. Pink works pretty good, stands out. So bam, and that's it for that. Yep, that should be good. And the last thing I'm going to do is create a wall. It's a little bit of a bonus for this tutorial. When you run into a wall, you should stop. You shouldn't go through walls. So I'll just show you guys how to do that real fast. And I'm going to load a sprite. All this is, it's a 64 by 64 cube. I just used a square draw tool in Paint and imported it into here. So there we go, there's our 3 sprites. Now we're going to create our objects, and we're going to need 4 objects because there's going to be a object controller, and that is what's actually going to handle your input. So we'll get to that last. I'm going to start off with the player. Alright, and for this guy, this is how he's actually going to move to the mouse point. So step event, assuming you already know what that is, a step event is pretty much the, I believe your CPU performing calculations at a given finite number of times every second, and a step occurs 30 times every second, so that means 30 times every second this crap's going to happen. Alright, so what I want is every step we're going to want to check and see, oh crap, we haven't made it yet. What we're going to want to do is check and see if there's a mouse click object. So let's create that. And here we're giving it this sprite. Now what we're going to do is we're going to uncheck visible and keep it solid for collision purposes. I'm not sure if this is important, but it doesn't hurt. So it's invisible, so in the level the player's not going to see it, which is great. We don't want to see these bright ass pink squares every time we freaking click. Now, we don't want more than one, so we're going to have to start implementing some measures to keep these mouse clicks from piling up on us. So we're going to add a little collision event, and with the play edge dead, do a little bit of destruction of yourself. There we go. Objects, let's create our 3rd object. It's going to be what, wall? So just object, wall, give it a sprite. And I think that's all we're going to need for that. It's pretty much just going to be for decoration reasons. Okay, so let's get back to the player. Okay, so add event step. Okay, so here we go. Every step, we're going to check and see if... Should I just check object instead of test instant? Nah. Sorry, I was trying to change something at the last minute. How I do it is I just test if there's an instance of this object mouse click. So if the number is, larger than 0, it should never be more than 1, but, whatever, we'll get to that when we get to that. So pretty much every step, if there's an instance of a mouse click, we're going to do this. We're going to go to move, we're going to move to fixed. Move towards, we're going to do a little bit of, move towards. What this event, or this action method, whatever you want to call it, is going to do, it's going to move our player to what we're going to define. And what it's defined at is some X and Y position on your screen. So obviously X and Y. Now our X, we're going to want it to be object mouse click dot X. And then Y, object mouse click dot Y. And speed, probably a good practice would be like player speed. We haven't defined it yet, but later on, like if you want to increase your player speed, you can do it here. So we'll go ahead and write a variable called player speed real fast. And that's going to be in the create event. You go to control tab, go over here to variable. You can do this in code, but this is simple. We'll just do drag and drop. And I believe I called it player speed, and we'll just set that to like, I don't know, 12. Okay, so if the number of object mouse clicks is not 0, so if there's one that exists, we're going to move towards its X and Y. Now, else, like if there are no mouse clicks, let's not be moving, so we're just going to do moved fixed, bam. And it'll just stop moving if there's no mouse clicks, which is what we want, because when he collides with the mouse click is going to disappear, halting his movement. And that's actually the third thing we should do. So we're going to add a collision, go to add event, under the player object, go to collision, collide with mouse click, and right here we're going to do the same thing we did when there's no mouse clicks. Speed, we're going to move fixed to no direction at a speed of 0. And the mouse click is going to destroy itself when we get to that point when it collides with the player object. Now, jumped ahead too fast again, back to open player. Let's add another event. This one's going to collide with the wall object. And right here, just the same damn thing. Once it collides with the wall, stop moving, no speed. Or moving no directions, and no speed. Okay, now that's all that. Now for the fourth object. And this is what a lot of games in Game Maker that I see use. They use like this controller object. And what it does is just kind of handles things in your game that aren't specific to any like single element within it. This is not going to be given a sprite. Now, this object controller is actually kind of going to handle the user interface. So this is going to have the methods for mouse clicking. So do not go to these buttons. I don't know what the hell the difference is between these and frickin' global, but for some reason global is the only one that works on my computer. So on a global left pressed, we're going to create an instance of the mouse click object. No, it's not relative to the controller. What's important here is that this object mouse click has to be created at the location of the mouse click. And the way to find that is very easy. It's just mouse underscore X for the X value of the mouse, mouse underscore Y for the Y value of the mouse. And this should not be relative. You want it to be at the precise X and Y coordinate of the screen that you're looking at. So then, yeah, hit OK. It's going to take me a while here. And, so, yeah, that's what happens. And a final thing we're going to want to do here is, if you click more than once, these things are going to start piling up. So we're going to have to check for other mouse click objects. So we're going to test if the instance count of this object mouse click is larger than 0, then we are going to want to destroy these instances. So, if number of instances of mouse click is greater than 0, we're going to destroy them. So we click drag drop destroy instance thing, and we're going to click the object, and we're going to select mouse click objects. And that should destroy, I don't know if it's going to destroy all the mouse click objects, in my opinion it should, but yeah, that's that. Now finally, let's test this baby. We're going to create a room. This is the most tedious aspect of it. Let's give us a little more room to play with. How about 800 by 600? And let's give us a little background here. go back to room, backgrounds. Okay, so all I did, room design, assuming you guys know how to do this, I just, filled in the background color so it looks a little better, and then we go to the objects tab. Now we're going to add each of our objects. For the object controller, I'm going to put that up at the top left. For the, object wall, just freaking put that wherever you want. Let's throw a couple of these around. This is just a test, so I'm not really making a serious game here without any bugs or anything like that. And then create an instance of the object player, and that should do it. We got our controller, we got a player, and we got some walls to collide with. Sounds good. Let's run. Alright, and here we go. You just click and he'll go wherever that stuff is. Now you can see he doesn't go right to the mouse. Now trust me, you don't want to do a collision effect with just the mouse point, because if you think about it, it's a single point, which is a single pixel that's going to occupy your screen, and it's going to test for a precise collision with that one pixel. That's a little bit too anal for most computers to handle. So that's why you kind of want to use the mouse click sprite for collision. And 32 by 32 is probably too big of a size. Probably you want to knock that down by half, because as you can see, it's a small ass sprite anyway, so if I want to click right here, it's not going to register. Let's try to go on this wall. Oh, see, you can't. And you can't go around it either because there's no pathfinding in there. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You can at least move around for the most part. Let's see if we can get through here. Yeah, bitches. Oh, check it out. I'm crazy, motherfuckers. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Cryogen. I might be a little bit tad unorthodox, but I keeps it real. Holla at ya, boys.